Hello and welcome back on the Parisian Mall. So today a new video and a new location actually, even though it's the same location, but as every single time I do a video standing on the floor, I have like a massive back pain for the following 2 to 3 days. Here we are, sitting on a chair, but we actually have to celebrate something because I have received and clearly already opened my French driving license. And I have to say that I had to convert my Italian driving license into the French driving license, not by will, so not by choice, but because I had to, and I had absolutely no idea that I had to take care of this particular bureaucratic process. And this is also the reason why I'm making this video, because I'm pretty sure that there's someone out there finding themselves in the same situation I was in, and for whom this video could be extremely helpful. So let's get started with today's video. Okay, so before starting this video, I want to explain you one specific thing. So as you may know, on my YouTube channel, I'm used to record videos both in Italian and English because usually every single procedure I talk about is something that is equal for everybody, no matter the country you come from, of course, if you are within the European Union, because I always talk about the procedures that you have to undergo once you move to France. So that's actually not connected to where you come from, again, if you are within the European Union. But for this specific video, I wanted to do it in English too, because I think it could be, by the way, helpful for everybody else outside of Italy. But there are a few things that I had to do which were strictly connected to the Italian legislation. So I will try to explain as much as I can, but absolutely you have to go check with your own home country what are the regulations for driving licenses, and most of all, the conversion of a driving license from your home country to the French one. So that being said, let's get right into the procedure and why I had to convert my driving license from the Italian one to the French one. So when I moved to France, one of the first things that I had to take care of as an Italian citizen was to register to the actual register of the Italian citizens living abroad, which is a specific register, and I had to do it through the Italian consulate in Paris. And this is important because you may want to check if you also do have to do the same depending on your home country's legislation. By the way, I had to do this, and this is the reason why I had to convert my driving license. So basically, long story short, my driving license was expiring at the end of last year, and I got in touch with Italian authorities for driving licenses to ask them how could I make sure that I could renew my driving license. And they actually told me that if I was not an Italian resident anymore, but I was a French resident, I needed to do it through the French authorities. So I actually kind of panicked for a moment because I was like, okay, what? Like, do I have to do it again? Do I have to do another exam? How does it work? So that's also the reason why I want you to get the right information with your home country, because depending on the country you come from, maybe there are different rules that apply, and maybe you have to undergo a new exam, or maybe you have to do additional studies for the different way of driving in France. So that's something you may want to be aware of. So today's video is going to be focused strictly on the procedure you have to follow to ask for the driving license conversion with the French one, not the prior phase that you have to check with your home country regulation. Most importantly, because there are different cases and different situations for which you can ask for the conversion of a driving license with the French one, because maybe in your specific home country you can still renew your driving license through your home country's authorities, but in Italy it's not the case. If you're not resident in Italy anymore, you have to do it with the French authorities. So basically what I had to do was to go on the ANTS website, which is the website of the specific section of the Ministry of the Interior dedicated to driving licenses. You have to create an account, and then you have to fill in a full form of information related to you and to your driving license. You have to reply to a full list of questions, but most importantly, you have to upload a whole series of documents that you have, and it's better for you to prepare before, because there are actually quite a few documents that you have to upload. Again, this procedure procedure usually applies to people coming from a country of the European Union, because for people coming from an international environment, you may have different time limits. You may be asked to actually undergo the full driving license exam again, so you may want to check. But by the way, the documents that you have to upload are a copy of your identity document, so either identity card or passport. Then you have to upload a copy of your actual driving license. Then you have to upload a proof of address of your French address, so usually it's the electricity bill with your name on it. Then you have to upload your birth certificate, so it's better to already have it with you. And then you have to upload a document that can justify your residency in France, which usually is the certificate of your enrollment to the French healthcare system. And then you have to upload a proof of the date of when you arrived in France, which usually is the certificate that you first received when you asked to be registered to the healthcare system. But actually there are a whole group of documents that you can upload for the different requests. So when you are actually uploading the documents, they give you examples of the different documents that you can upload for each request. So this is just an example, but there are other documents that you could potentially upload. Then you have to upload a photo ID, and it cannot be like whatever photo ID. You have to upload a specific and certificate photo ID, and usually there are plenty of places in Paris that take these kind of pictures for the driving licenses. But also, I don't know if you ever noticed, in the major metro station there are sometimes the photo booth that you can use to take your photo ID, and on a majority of them on the outside it's written ANTS certified photo booth, meaning that you can use that to take the picture for your driving license. So what you want to do is you take the picture there, and when it prints the card with your photo IDs on, there will be a number on it, and that number you want to insert it inside the form that you're filling to request your driving license, and it will be automatically linked to the photo you took. So that's actually pretty simple, but you have to do it before starting to fill the form. Then of course I had no idea that I had to upload all these documents when I started filling the form, so I left it on a standby mode, and then I had to collect all the documents. I went taking my photo ID, and you don't lose anything because once you have created the account and once you fill the form, it always saves in a form of a draft. So every single time you go back to the form, it will actually be in the status you left it. So you can retake it and go on uploading the new documents that you collected or the picture that you took. So once you have checked that everything is complete and you have inserted everything, you can actually validate, and it will send your request to the police prefecture. Now, what happens is that usually, as in the form you have to insert your email and your phone number, they will always update you on the status of your driving license via email, but also via text message on your phone. And basically what happened is that 3 days after I validated the form and I sent it, I received a message saying that my documents were not complete and that I had to connect on my personal area on the ANTS website to check what document was missing. So I logged in and I checked, and it kind of broke my heart a little bit because they were asking me to physically send my driving license. And that was something that made me feel very, very bad, because I didn't think that I truly had to, separate from that. And I know it may sound silly, but like I really cared about my driving license and I was very affectionate to that. So knowing that I had to send it over and that I'm not gonna see it again, it was kind of sad and a little bit nostalgic, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Of course, before doing that, take a picture, do a copy, scan your driving license, because whatever happens, you may want to have a copy of your driving license. And then what you want to do inside your personal area on the ANTS website, you have to download a specific document that you have to send together with your driving license. And again, this is something that probably works for everybody, but always check, because depending on your home country, things may be different. But I actually think that this process works for everybody, no matter where you come from. So I had to download the document and then place it together with my driving license inside the specific envelope, and then you have to go to the post office and you have to physically send it to the police prefecture. Now, what you want to do when you send it via physical mail is not to send it with a normal letter and that's it. No, you want to send it with a registered email with acknowledgement of receipt, which is a specific kind of letter. It's a little more expensive than a normal one, but it's also required on the ANTS website. They tell you that you have to use that specific way of sending it. And basically it's a letter that you can of course track, but that once arrives at the Prefecture de Police, they will send back a piece of paper stating in an official way that they actually received that. And considering that it's a very important document, you want to do that. Like, you want to be sure that they received that. So what happened then is that once they received the letter with my driving license in it, I received an email where they confirmed that my dossier was now complete and that they were going to treat my request. And after a few days, I received a confirmation that everything was okay, that every document was valid, and that my request was accepted, and that from that moment, within 2 weeks, I would have received my French driving license. And I have to tell you that they were actually very quick, because actually after 10 days with the physical mail, I received my French driving license at home. I have to say that when I first realized that I had to undergo this kind of process, I was scared that it was going to be super hard, super tricky, super long, and that meanwhile I couldn't drive because my driving license was expiring. I don't drive in Paris actually, I always take public transport, but you never know when you want to do, I don't know, a one-day escape from the city and you want to go in the countryside and maybe you rent a car, you know, that was going to be problematic. So basically they were very fast and the procedure was super simple because you can do everything online. You just need to send your original driving license via physical mail, but apart from that, everything is super easy and fast. So if you find yourself in the situation where you have to renew your driving license, or you have to convert your driving license, or you lose your driving license and you have to have a new one, and based on your home country legislation you have to actually do it through French authorities, well, this is the procedure that you have to follow, and that I knew nothing about until I realized that I had no other choice than doing it this way. So I hope this video was helpful for you. As always, if you have any doubt, any question, if you need additional information, just leave them in the comments or send me a DM on Instagram, and see you in the next video.